Hey guys, and welcome back to Beck Square Gaming. It's time to continue on with our Asylum series. Let's do it. See, no, that's not been a full hour since the last one, so I'm assuming this is a certain things occur and then the time ticks over. At least I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. Right, I think, okay. So I think it's once you achieve or do certain things in the game, it ticks the hour on. So I don't think it's actually that the time has passed. I think... Here. I know. Or not, maybe? Can we go to the therapy room now? Can we get past, Lenny finished his cleaning? Ooh. Journal updated. Let's visit the upper floors, speak to Lenny. Okay. Ooh, what's in here? Ooh. Okay. Interesting. Hawthorne. Okay. Yeah, I would say that. I'd agree with that. It seems like a very weird room. Alright. Let's get out of laundry. Lovely building. I think, oh, papers there. Hanwell Institute, 9 unsettling rumours in later years dissatisfies employees at Hanwell Institute began to circulate wild stories about the mistreatment of part of the executive staff, on the part of the executive staff. At the time, authorities described the rumours as a general atmosphere of discontent in the institute as well as a matter of public knowledge, but by then the erstwhile international prestige of the establishment had faded, its glory days long gone, the building was in an appalling state of disarray. Displaying an evident lack of direction and maintenance, the situation became more serious when family members of patients began reporting an alarming number of injuries to the bodies of their loved ones. These ranged from severe bruises to burn marks, and in the more extreme cases, fractures. Initially, the injuries were thought to result from unfortunate accidents related to the known issues besetting the mental hospital, including underfunding, understaffing, growing workplace animosity. Eventually, however, burgeoning pressures from the public and the human rights organisations prompted the authorities to institute a series of investigations in the establishment of the insane. Interviews with institute staff ensued, testimonies from low-ranking workers and nurses including descriptions of anguished shrieks echoing through the hallways. Precise resources difficult to locate. In one of the most sinister accounts, an anonymous report suggested screaming was coming from underground. Other stories mentioned the disappearance of a certain number of patients, a phenomenon that happened during the night. But the most chilling rumour of them all is that the patients were being deliberately subjected to various forms of torture. When questioned about these scandalous allegations, Dr. Ellis Hawthorne dismissed them as gossip of employees not fit for their jobs. He argued on record that the distressing screams originated from the high-risk section in which dangerous patients with a history of violence were regularly experiencing psychotic fits. As for the patients disappearing from their cells, he stated that it was common for them to get lost in the monumental building, with hours sometimes passing before they were found. Yet another reason to upgrade the unit system layout was the top priority of the administration. Hawthorne added during this Whoever and evil Dr. Hanwell himself opted for perplexing silence, never publicly commenting on the situation. With circumstances spiraling out of control, authorities continued to close following the event transpiring Hanwell Mental Institution. Important to know. Ah, there we go. The shed's locked. Okay. The pretty fireflies. On the arm. A wheelchair. During its heyday, it must have been cracking building. You know, provided it's not built on like some abandoned graveyard or burial site or something, you know. Oh, well, that's now opened. The tool fell apart, which is what it was still in our inventory for, which means we still have a purpose to the letter opener. We just haven't found it yet. Okay. Oh, it was lovely and calm outside. I won't be stepping here for your ominous ass music. And it's this. It's a bathroom. There. See anything in here? So let's out. I might be missing stuff, guys, but all I can do is wander and hope to find it. I found myself inside the therapy room. The whole place was in a state of disarray, as if everyone had left in a hurry. Group therapy responses, record development evaluation. Group E. Alertness, attention, attitude. Patients in Group F show a marked improvement in their mood and awareness, as well as willingness to communicate and interact with their peers. The regression of Group E continues to puzzle me and discuss their individual issues separately. Yenny used to be a kind of leader figure, very communicative, someone the rest of the group looked up to, but he's been more withdrawn, recently lost in what seems like dark thoughts he refuses to share. In the case of Hodgson, I could guarantee a smooth session, provided nobody brought anything up related to the nature of his trauma. He's growing increasingly tense and neurotic. Crawford has always been troublesome, but he seems more on edge than usual, and even more of a problem these days. Rebecca shouldn't have been allowed an abortion. LaRoche beginning to believe he's a lost case. Said what our name was. Under Hanwell Institute.
Since the renovation of the Institute began, more patients have become agitated and difficult to manage, as if it was the architecture of their own bodies being reconfigured. The construction work has disturbed their existence in a way I couldn't predict. Some are even presenting with odd injuries, which none of the nurses can explain. Are the patients harming themselves? Is this building so firmly interrelated with their identities that changes in its structure will impact their states of mind by means of a kinesthetic regression? They rationalize structural changings in the surrounding geometry by imprinting them in their own flesh. Hodgson's is the worst example. Where are those burn marks coming from? I made inquiries and nobody saw him get burned. Perhaps he was allowed to assist in the kitchen and he refuses to discuss the burnings. And knowing how much the subject terrifies him, I did not press him further. But the scars are disturbing other patients in Group E. They believe his scorched skin is some kind of heavenly punishment or stigmata. And they're all going to suffer the same fate. This is ridiculous and degrading. They were my best group, my most remarkable achievement. Yet no one gives a damn. I swallowed my pride and consulted directly with Alice. But the pompous asshole suggested it was my inexperience at fault, my responsibility to ensure the safety of patients. So what the hell are you supposed to do then? Instead of hiding in your office, do something about your staff. And when the moron isn't jerking off at his desk, he supervises the construction work. Why is a psychiatrist so deeply involved with the conversion to the unit system? None of this makes sense. I hate myself for losing my mind.
They're summoning Zul. Run, they're summoning Zul.
Therapy session is now a burden. I need to reconnect with the patients. They must tell me more. Lenny is still more forthcoming than the rest, but he won't say a word about the bruises. And Hodgins, how did you burn yourself like that? If not the kitchen, the only other place. No. Impossible. They're not allowed down there.
Ooh, yeah, it's the building, or they're being ripped out of their beds and made to do shit at night. That's also possible. Huh? That was interesting. Bertrand LaRoche, 35, mod wing, 102A. Bertrand LaRoche security case. He died docile patient with the mind trapped in his most right thoughts. Coming from a family of French immigrants, having experienced a troubled childhood afflicted by war, LaRoche has always had issues making friends. No doubt in part thanks to his monotone, outlandish manner of speech, his verbal expression often devolves into unintelligible murmurs during otherwise plain and straightforward conversations. Current diagnosis, this is assumed to be a schizophrenic behaviour. That being said, once someone earns his trust, LaRoche can become a capable and pleasant conversationalist. Yet recently the patient seems less keen on communicating, often spending time their mount sharply staring out the windows. In the games room, specialists feel he will succumb to an irreversible state of catatonia. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
How are you feeling today? Tired. I want to sleep. I'm sorry to hear that. How was your day? It was fine, I guess. We played some games in the afternoon. They are always the same, but I still like them. But the others aren't so happy.
It's understandable. We'll try to get you some new games. Has anything of importance occurred to you lately?
A new woman arrived today with a big belly. She is pretty. I like her. But she was hysterical and punched Nurse Marion on the face.
I know, and we're dealing with that. But I was referring if anything has happened to you lately.
I don't know. I am so tired.
Why are you tired? Tell me. We're here to help.
It's being down there, working with all the dust and the bugs. It's too hard. I'm too tired. I stand them anymore.
Oh, they were
What
using the
is this
patients
that
as
you can't
labor.
stand anymore? The voices. They are everywhere. And they whisper inside your head. They are evil.
Was there some kind of collapse and it killed half the team? That. Okay. How do I take that one off? Okay.
You are not in good shape, Bertrand. You know it will only get worse. You must talk.
I hate you. I hate this place. You're all bad with me and my friends.
You'll come to understand, Bertrand, eventually. But we must deal with this. You have a chance to end
What were
it
they
right
doing
here,
to these
right
poor people?
now.
I don't believe you. You have been lying to me all this time.
That's not true. And if you tell me what you saw, it will all be over. It's that simple.
I can't remember. It's too fuzzy and dark.
Come on, Bertrand. Try harder.
No. I'm scared.
Come on. Tell me what you saw.
No. It will come for me. It knows. It knows.
Calm down or I'll have to call the guards.
It's inside me.
What? What is inside you?
Well. Okay. That one off. Well, I tried taking it off and it wouldn't let me. Oh no, I had to click on the old one, didn't I? I had to click on the... Yeah. That's a bit of a fidgety mechanic. I'm not gonna lie. Right, that's, Alright, okay. This next one.
Bertrand, are you feeling all right? Talk to me. Don't make me lose my patience. I don't have all day.
Leave me alone.
I understand you must feel angry, but we're doing this for your well-being.
You are lying. It hurts. I can't sleep. There are dark things in my dreams.
Just calm down. Take a deep breath and relax. We'll explain it to you, but you have to trust me.
I don't know. I am so tired. I can't think anymore.
What about your fear? Think about your last session. Do you remember now?
There's only darkness, and it moves there. It's been waiting, and now it knows we're here.
Oh, lovely. Can I get the last one? Will it let me click on this one? There we go.
Are you feeling better today?
More or less, I think.
Are you getting along better with work?
No. I don't like the tunnels. It's suffocating in them.
I'm sure you'll get accustomed in time.
No, it's not fair. I shouldn't be doing this.
What makes you say that?
Because it doesn't feel right. Being there. I don't think that is what I was brought here for.
No, I don't think that's what you were brought for either.
You feel proud of yourself.
Oh,
Are you in
absolutely.
doubt because of something else? Are you scared, for instance?
Yes, I am. I don't want to go into the dark place again.
Oh, poor
They
guy.
said it was going to be all right, but I could feel the monster
Ooh.
coming for me.
Is there gases down there making them all hallucinate?
Monster.
Makes you wonder. Right, so I've seen those three on the top. I've seen the one underneath. There's not one all the way. And then when I click on that one, it tells me the case is empty. The reel's missing. Okay. Alright, so something went down. Right. That's the other door out of the therapy room. So it looks like they were using them for something they probably shouldn't have been using them for. Yeah, so we've unlocked this. We've been through here. We couldn't get into the kitchen. Let's go into the games room and then through to the library and get it unlocked from the other side if we can. There we go. Games room. Okay. I picked up a crayon and oh, that's cute. Sort of. Can't seem to click on other things. Right. Okay. That's a interesting library, I think. Yeah. Alright. Let's go to the library. Can we get into the library? Oh. Oh, I thought that crashed there. Alright. Well, that's kind of horrific. You know, for a mental institution, there is some particularly disturbing imagery in the building. Maybe that's just me, but that's how it feels. Some days ago, I casually read a newspaper article about Dr. Walter Hanwell, a general surgeon with extensive knowledge of mental illness, who recently founded his own hospital for the insane. In his impassioned words, I could sense a sincere concern about the consequences of mind disorders. In that same article, Hanwell's notable technological advances in his field, a discipline in which antiquated practices are often ingrained, elicited a feeling of excitement that I hadn't experienced in a long time. The fine trajectory of this kindly spirit compelled me to write him a letter, disenchanted as I was about ongoing problems in my local medical centre, which I concluded was managed by close-minded individuals. Dr. Hanwell responded sooner than I expected. We exchanged various experiences from our respective fields of expertise, and an engaged debate then I fondly remembered as a deciding factor that we would dedicate the rest of my career. We agreed that increasing reports of development mental anomalies were consequences of degenerate society. A degenerating society that minds operating outside the boundaries of morality would inevitably deteriorate. I'm trying to read it too fast. Until no shade of humanity was left. There was a mutual agreement that the fabric of our culture, our breed, was eroding. As admired professionals, we have an obligation to guide our peers into the blistering light of cognizance. We see and perceive what others don't. Not taking action would be shameful disgrace of our human condition. Continue talking about how mental hospitals should be managed under the strictest of the conditions and how symbols of solemn authority was the utmost importance for ensuring smooth operations. Suffice it to say, I became enchanted with Walter Hanwell's grand vision, his endless quest to correct the course of society, beginning with those two who had lost their way, the most profound and visceral sense, the decay of their own minds. History, theology. I'm just wandering down the different sections. At some point, no doubt, we're going to have to come in here and look for something. But in the meantime, just... Okay. No, I wouldn't have thought Lovecraft was appropriate for a mental institution, but okay. Maybe I'm being judgmental. Right, so... Oh, this. Okay. That section is blocked. Get in there. Snib off the library. There we go. And now allow us to go out. Now I need to find Lenny. Right. Right, okay. So what are we doing? Right, so we are remembering past, speak with Lenny, visit upper floors. Right, that was right. Investigate about Bertrand. Alright, so we need to head back up the stairs. Alright, let's go. Probably gonna get shouted at, but okay. Ooh, ominous. Right, so we were... Yeah, this was where we couldn't get through before. Was there and there. So, and there are other entrances. So we're here at the moment. So we've got Director, Solarium, Museum, Morgue. So, right, okay. The stairs are there. Right. So that... So the director's office is that way. So let's start at the far end of the hallway, shall we? And a key for that. Okay. We need to find the key to get in there. Museum. Oh, the museum's opening. That's not at all creepy. Yeah, I'm not sure this is... I would consider this a... Ah. Whole thing is just... Typical slide for tissue sample. This could come later. Okay. Okay. Right, so we're gonna have to do something in here at some point. Right, okay. Alright. It's of no use at the moment. Oh, that's gross. What is wrong with... What? Why? Why would you even have this? Like, why? Yeah, this is just a whole new level of creepy. Oh, look. Becca Earth. Is that how you pronounce it? Virus? The rendition of the stable. Okay. Did not suffer any alien life, but fell victim to violent SA as an adult. She was found in a state of shock by the authorities who rescued her after full examination, found to be pregnant. The perpetrator was never apprehended during the period following the assault, exhibited delusional behaviour and panicked whenever men were in the same room as her. Oh, I don't blame her. Thereafter, following strict attention and care, she gradually began to recover and return to her senses, becoming to terms with the new condition. She eventually managed to begin socialising with her peers to feel more comfortable in the presence of men. Regrettably, she has recently suffered an inexplicable breakdown in this fierce neurotic fit. She mistreated both her peers and the nursing team using foul, highly offensive language. She was found repeatedly hitting her stomach and assisting her unborn child with the spawn from hell. Oh, that's lovely. Poor woman. Why would you even have this? Like... No, right, so at some point we're going to need to remember there's sampley things in there that we're going to need. Alright, so this is the solarium. Okay, the sunroom. This would be a clean as sport to relax amid sunbeams, quite the opposite in its present sore condition. Record of patient housed in local hospital. The renowned surgeon who keeps receiving years, Dr. Walter Hanwell, directed and founded the mental after him, has made a number of patients hosted by his institute. After 272 staff members, has positioned itself one of the most highly populated mental institutes in the world, has become the pride of our region. Importance of crowd design and architecture and serving the house a large number of patients in a healthy and comfortable environment. However, reputation of psychiatrists beyond this and warn about the dangers of overcrowded building, including managerial problems, ethical dilemmas. According to the plan, they would not exceed a maximum of 250. Contrary to claims, we acknowledge the mandate of the recovery plan and my talented staff to keep the patients under tight control. Our methods are efficient and my experience in this field is allowed to improve upon a design. What's the date on it? I have a date, 7th year. They have a date, is it? I'm not seeing... Oh, there you go. That's why you look up. Right. Keeps it pausing periodically. I don't know if it's just glitching out. Oh my goodness, this is just horrific. Bizarrely still fresh. Okay. Yeah, nice. There's some charming stuff in this place. Like, what the hell? I don't even want to know. I'm not finding anything in these. Okay. Difficult to discern what was on the scale. A brain. Why would anyone leave this? Yeah, I mean, this is... Whoa. Seeing that? What's that image? Seeing an image flashing there? Is it me or is there an image flashing there? I'm not sure. It looks like something on a hook. Can't really tell. The book provides some details about the bodies in the morgue, names, tags, and some notes. Is that Mary Shelley? Oh, beautiful! Mary Shelley, that's nice. That's a beautiful nod to that right there. Will Hodgson. Bram Stoker. Love it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to do something in one of these. Okay. Okay. Interesting. There's nothing in any of the boxes. I find that really hard to believe. I still think it's flashing something there, but I can't seem to... Right, hook behind me seems to move. Okay. I'm gonna need to use the flask at some point. Okay. This is obviously a puzzle, guys. I'm just waiting to see. I need to work out... Obviously, I need to open something. I need to work out which one I'm opening and then go from there. Why would this stuff still be in the hospital all this years later? E103. Okay. Nasty. Right. So obviously at some point I'm going to need to work out which one I need to look at. Can't open any of the top row, okay. Okay. Right, right, so there was 3 different ones there. So, I think it's the book's gonna tell us, isn't it? E103, I think it was E103. Maybe it's something else we need. We'll come back to this. Okay. Oh, I like the reflection in the other doors. That was cool. That was nicely done. Right, bathroom. Into the bog. Okay. Alright. Right, so at some point we need flowing water, and it's going to be here. Good to remember. Okay, so this is the bathroom. The bathroom has flowing water. Upstairs bathroom, flowing water. Gotcha. Laboratory. Laboratory, not lavatory. If I have to search everything in every room, this is going to be really freaking slow. Okay. Oh, lovely. Botany tools. That was charming. Oh, there's somebody over there. The fact that he's not commenting on the fact that we're slowly pulling everything apart is interesting. He's just casually standing over there and he's not being like, don't touch that shit. Interesting. Clearly doesn't give a flying rat's ass, but that must be Dr. Miller because... Oh, maybe not. We've not really encountered anybody else yet. Okay, that's bizarre. This whole game is just really, really bizarre, you know. My money's on the locked one, just for the record, I think. Alright, how do we talk to the dude? Like, there are some really freaky looking tools in these drawers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to know what they were doing to these poor people. And that's out with the weird shit that they were doing that they shouldn't have been doing. Here we go.
Hello? Am I interrupting something?
Who are you?
I'm a former member of the Institute. I came here tonight to look into some docket.
Well, this is highly irregular. Did Julia let you in? I'll need to have a word with her. As you can see, the building is not in a condition for you to go anywhere you please.
Oh, but I'm only going to the allowed areas.
This area is not allowed.
Sorry, my mistake. But would you mind if I asked you some questions?
I was in the middle of something important, but go ahead.
I assume you are...
I'm the new director of the Institute.
Yeah, Dr. Miller, that's what I said.
Dr. Ambrose Miller.
Ambrose
My
Miller.
purpose here is to honor the vision of my former colleague, Dr. Walter Hanwell.
Pleased to meet you. So, I assume you were acquainted with Walter Hanwell.
Quite so. Walter was a friend. We maintained ample correspondence over the
Friend,
years.
interesting.
Many subjects, both from the field of medicine and life itself, were our common interest.
If I was playing this on my own, I'd be
Many
clicking
times I
past
toyed
really
with the
fast.
idea of coming here to work with him. Alas, fate had a different plan for us.
What do you mean?
Well, the circumstances you're obviously familiar with. I was finally prepping myself for a greatly belated visit when all of a sudden the Institute shut down. Walter had been a friend in writing for many years, yet regrettably I never got to know him in person.
Julia seems to be a nice member of the new Hanwell family.
Our new receptionist. I don't have much to say. I just met her earlier this morning.
She's doing a fine job. Must be difficult putting a nice face to all this filth.
Filth?
I'm sorry, I mean, let's talk about something else.
Okay.
So, you're the famous Dr. Miller.
Famous? Not quite. At least not around these parts. I'm just a humble servant who wishes to continue with Walter's grandiose dreams.
How so?
As soon as I heard this establishment was ceasing operations, I made arrangements to be transferred here, hopefully continue Walter's work. My connection in the field of medicine across the years proved valuable, as here I find myself as the new director in charge of this reopening.
Oh, well.
About Dr. Ebesbaker.
The therapist?
Yes, I'm curious about her role at the Institute.
She was well positioned in the ranks at Hanwell, respected career and all, but if you ask me, she was a failure.
Do you know Bruno?
Of course I know Bruno.
You don't talk about Bruno.
He's our security guard.
Is there anything of interest you could tell me about him?
Not really. He's just a security guard.
But he's working in your establishment and contributes to a greater goal. You can't possibly operate this place without security.
Look, if you want to form a union with Bruno, be my guest. I need to keep working with this dangerous chemical.
Why such intolerance?
I have a highly dangerous chemical right here.
Fine. Have you seen a patient wandering around?
The one who's cleaning the rooms? Yes. Leonard, I believe.
That's who I mean, yes. Is it safe to speak with him?
Certainly. Perfectly safe, otherwise we wouldn't allow him to roam freely.
Man's got a
I'm
point.
not familiar with his case, though. We are simply continuing with the same treatment he had in the past.
Well, that's not helpful. What if they got it wrong in the past?
Does the name Crawford ring a bell?
Not in the least.
Why did Hanwell shut down all of a sudden?
That's not a topic we are discussing here, as you can imagine.
Okay.
I'm interested in learning the truth.
Truth these days is a social construct.
Oh, come on. A fact is still a fact, and there must be a reason why this place closed
Depends on how you
doors.
interpret the fact.
Mismanagement. Hanwell got too careless. He trusted the wrong people.
But...
That is all I'm saying on this topic.
So Hanwell wasn't involved, it was
do you know
Elliot.
anything about the construction below?
I'm aware of renovation plans that didn't come to fruition. The structure of the building was typical Kirkbride. Since its inception, a style which became dated over time. Mind you, this was true of all mental hospitals of this area. All Kirkbride establishments were forced to change, or perish.
Why this whole fascination with the Kirkbride architecture?
You could say that Walter was a romantic, too attached to the old ways. He erected this building quite late in his lifetime, when the Kirkbride design was already beginning to exhibit its flaws, and he paid a price for it.
What I don't understand is the purpose of digging in the basement.
It makes perfect sense. That's typically how the migration of the so-called unit system worked. Underground tunnels.
I'm wondering how a network of underground tunnels is so attached to the concept of a unit system.
To begin with, the unit system is a term that didn't catch on. It was meant to convey the notion of units of buildings, concerned with a single aspect for the everyday operation of a mental institute. One building for administrative offices, another for surgical interventions, then male and female infirmaries separated, and so on. The hospital border in Buenos Aires is a good example of such a system of buildings.
Interesting.
Are you familiar with the term Group E?
Yes, that's a therapy thing. Patients were organized into small groups and encouraged to discuss their fears and problems in confidence. In a more controlled environment, they were treated by, what was her name?
Dr. Ebersbaker? Don't you think it's a bit rash to bring in patients under such deplorable conditions?
I don't like your accusing tone. There's an ongoing housing crisis for mental patients. Would you rather have them tossed into the streets?
That's not what I'm...
Be that as it may, I'm not proud of the circumstances surrounding this reopening, but we have an obligation to provide
You
shelter
cannot
for
open
these
the building in the
patients.
state that it's in. Seriously.
It's a temporary measure.
Gee.
I'm looking for information on a patient called Bertrand.
Bertrand is one from the old group, right?
I believe so. I've seen footage of him in the therapy room.
Footage? Intriguing. I'll have to take a look at that. But yes, of course he sounds familiar. He's here tonight.
What do you mean, here? Physically?
Physically? What are you, a ghost hunter? Of course in flesh and blood. He's one of the patients being relocated.
This is an incredible development. Where can I see him?
I don't have such details. All I know is that he's in the same cell where he used to be.
Okay.
I appreciate the conversation. Goodbye.
So he's in the same cell. Okay, so... There's Lenny. Hey, dude.
Lenny, I've been in the basement. You were right.
Really?
Yes, I was there before. And you too. I had this memory. We were working together in some kind of construction project. What were we doing down there?
I don't recall. Everything is so fuzzy.
Lenny, you have to make an effort. This is important for our sakes.
I don't want to, please. I don't want to remember. It hurts.
Okay, don't worry, Lenny. Let's try something else.
Did Lenny go crazy and kill half of them or something crazy?
I've learned that Bertrand, a former patient of the Institute like you and me, is here, and I'm gonna pay him a visit.
I hope he's all right.
I hope so too, Lenny. We both need answers. The Institute was shut down under strange circumstances, but I don't recall much about that period.
Me neither. We were in pain by then.
What is this about pain?
It was the pain that led to the shutdown. Down below.
Did you hear anything else about this?
No.
It's incredible, but Bertrand, another patient from that time, like you and me, is here too. Don't you feel like this is all a strange coincidence?
I couldn't say. We all belong here. It's not a surprise to me.
Nothing else comes to mind?
I don't want to think about that anymore.
Did you ever meet the former director of the Institute, Walter Hanwell?
I'm not sure. I saw many people walking around in the Institute in the past, but no one ever told me who Hanwell was.
I see. Thank you. Nice talking to you, Lenny.
Did that mark that off in my journal, that talk to... Yep. Bring my pass. Sail. Okay. Alright. Do you know what's interesting? Do you know what this game is making me feel? That I want to whip out my power washer and start washing the walls. That's, I've obviously been playing too much Power Wash Simulator, because that's where my brain's going. Oh, there we go. I didn't click on this last time. What's this? Remember always saying your name for... Okay. Right. So we need to go down. I don't think we want to go up, do we? Right, okay. Right, so we need to go back into therapy room for Bertrand. Yeah, in here. Hang on. But where did it tell us where he was? Here. Cell 102A. Okay, 102A. Alright, Cell 102. Okay. I can't believe they're keeping people in here. I really, really can't. It's like, wow. Right, I know he'll have the key to that. Bruno will have the key to that. Oh, he's not there. Curious if more has been added to it. Wait, we talked about that before. 10:30. Because I'm pounding more. I can't take it. I think that's actually been added to since the last time we were. Huh? Whipping the keys. Let's go. Oh. Whoa. Right, so we need to get the music box. He's not going to drop without the box, so we need to get the music box. So he's not get music. Yeah, get music box. Find spring for music box. Who was Bertrad's cellmate? Get music box. So whoever the oh jeez. And with that, guys, we're going to leave this part here. If you have enjoyed, just give us a like, give us a comment on what you think of this series, and we will see you next time. Enjoy all.